Well, hey there. Welcome to Real WW Talk. I am Erin.
I'm Candice.
And I'm Rikki.
Ladies.
Hi.
Hi, Candice. It's good to see you. You just spent a little bit of time in Williamsburg. How was your little getaway?
I was gonna say a few shades darker. You never know because I was baking out in the sun because it was 100+ degrees on certain days, but it was fantastic. Again, one thing I love about Williamsburg is not only the Pierce's barbecue, which I talk about a lot,
Did you get your sandwich?
Multiple times, and I don't apologize for it or feel bad about it at all. They also have that ice that we love, like that crushed ice. Oh my gosh, that alone, plus like it's not even about the barbecue; it's about the whole experience.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Got fishing in. We did some axe throwing, something new. And I heard about it, and I was like, we had a date night. My parents watched Isaiah, and we said, let's try something new. So I feel like when you're on a vacation where how to do everything, finding something new is like,
really yes. Okay. What did you think of it? Because axe throwing was on my quarterly goal last quarter, and we're making it at work a team outing. I'm so excited.
Ooh. I'm going to tell you, it's one of those things where you don't know because you're like, I've never really done it. But the instructor, he was great. We tied. David and I officially tied, and then in a runoff, he won, but we don't really care because I came from behind and got a bullseye, and I posted it on my Instagram because you can't tell me anything. Like if you need me to chop down a tree or hit a bullseye with an axe, like I'm your person. And it was great. It was really nice, and it's something that you just don't know. It's a new experience. So
that's so fun.
Yeah, I highly recommend you try it. Like, just give yourself a chance. You're gonna like it.
Yay. Yay. Well, so this is the perfect kickoff for us for this episode because that was it May that we did our unofficial Bravo Day, or maybe it was late April, and everybody was like, you guys have got to do this again. And so we've decided that's how we're gonna like either kick off the month or end the month with a Bravo Day. So I would say that's the perfect start, ma'am.
Oh, yes. I threw an axe. And if I'll start it off too, I still have my tracking streak. You don't understand. I'm so very proud. My big Bravo is, I think I'm at like almost 200 days of tracking. Incredible. And honestly tracking, not just 183.
Amazing.
So I'm really proud of that because that was my goal for the year, was to not hide, to be consistent with owning what I eat, good, bad, ugly, whatever. And I did it.
Yes. Awesome. Let me ask you a question because I had my tracking streak at the beginning of the year. And then I had one day where I just foots, and it gives you a thing where you can go back in and track for the next day. Mm-hmm. And I decided that day not to go back in and track anything because I couldn't track everything and be like fully accountable. I don't know why it was working in my brain to not do that. So I lost, like my 100 and some day tracking streak. But then I remembered, okay, well, it's just, perfection, right? You're on that non-perfection journey, just like I am. And I think I posted in the group something to the effect of, at the end of the year, am I going to feel proud that I tracked, 360 days? Yeah. And I've only missed one or two in between type of a thing. So even though I didn't have that big, long tracking streak, I'm still okay with that. Right. If something like, say you were on vacation and suddenly the Wi-Fi went out wherever you are and you couldn't access your tracker for 2 days. Yeah. How would you, like in your battle for your perfection right now, how would you feel if you had missed and had to start your streak over again?
This is why I have a therapist. I would have called her immediately. But honestly, I've had that happen in other things because I think we've talked about like an Apple Watch, and I had this whole streak of like hitting all the rings closed, and then I missed a day. And I'll be honest, it can feel very like traumatic. Like you're like, oh my gosh, all of this work. But my prayer is that I am addicted or proud of the consistency overall. So my goal would be probably to reach out to my support group, call you ladies, call up somebody and say, help me to understand seriously that the truth is that not only have I been tracking, but it's been honest.
Yes.
And that's really what we're celebrating, is that I haven't been hiding. The streak is great, but it's just a representation of a Candice that's out in front and being honest and sharing the good and the bad
Yes.
of my journey with myself, because I was hiding from myself for a long time by
Mhm.
putting things in the tracker. And so that's what I'm proud of. So I would just try to remind myself that that's the win. Is not
Yay.
hiding.
That's awesome though. Well, and you know, at some point,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you know, time moves on and stuff like that, that's going to come to an end. So it's
Sure.
just even thinking through now, okay, how am I going to feel, or what plan do I want to have in place for when that
I
hits?
1000% will cry. And then I will call like that's the honest truth. I will cry and then I will call somebody and say, talk me through this.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
my son, maybe, you know?
Yes.
Be here and say, come here. And he'd be like, Mom, it's not that serious. What about you
But
guys? What are you proud of for the month of
Rikki.
Well, so, I've been, the summer is different having the time off that I have. I have a few work responsibilities that I agreed to do this summer, but overall, I'm pretty free. So adjusting to that change and being able to wake up later, and, that it's a privilege and a pleasure. But also, I feel like I've been really good at managing my time, like balancing out things I've wanted to do versus, rest. So I've prioritized making those plans, but I also haven't been afraid to make plans that involve walking and activity. So I've been really proud of that, either getting up really early or significantly early compared to when I could get up. So like 7 or 8 o'clock, and going for a walk before it gets really hot. So
Yeah.
when I say really early, I'm like we're not talking 5, 6 a.m.
That's what I
crazy
thought you
here.
were going
No,
for.
no, no, no.
She's like, I am a teacher
Right.
who is now going through summer vacation. Are you
Early for
crazy?
someone who could be sleeping in.
Right.
Let's clarify that.
Right. I
So,
was like, that's lunchtime, ma'am.
Getting up early enough to be able to enjoy the weather while it's cool before it gets too hot has been really nice. It hasn't been a daily thing, but that consistency in that. And then if I know I have an activity plan, like I got to go to Erin Space Museum this past week and see it with its remodeled glory. And my friend and I went, out of our way to go somewhere for lunch, but it involved a lot of walking, and it was hot at that point, but it didn't stop me. And I really love that this summer has been focused around having fun, but also incorporating that movement.
I didn't know they remodeled the Air and Space Museum.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
didn't either.
beautiful. Yeah, and it's still free. You've got to get time passes, so you need tickets to get in, but they are free still. So
Okay.
check it out.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Ricky.
Now,
Okay.
Erin, what about you?
Now, okay, so for me for June, well, we're wrapping up our step bit, and I have been, stepping. The way that I've tried to make the step bet more intentional for myself this time around, I have been getting up at 5:30.
Okay.
I'll think about you, Rikki, while I'm out walking.
You can think about me enjoying my slumber.
Rikki's got the cool side of the pillow right now, and
Yes.
I'm out here like mopping the brow.
Yes.
I've mentioned before that I've been using the Strava app, Strava, for anybody who wants to check it out. That's really helped me really look at my my mileage and my increased walking distance. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go in right now and I'm going to go pull up how many miles I've officially logged. Now, it doesn't keep track of, your entire mileage for the month like your your Fitbit does, but these are the ones that I've intentionally tracked. And I'll keep talking until I find it. Oh, I hate pop-ups. It's got a pop-up on it because I've got the free version. That's why there's no pop-ups if you pay for it. Yeah, so I've been really intentional about my walking. I've been trying different routes with my walking. I've had several days where I remembered, like, you know what? Things that I used to do on a Saturday, I would do what I call my long walk day, where I might try to walk 4 miles, or I might walk, an hour or an hour and a half total. I might pick a different place to go walk. So I've focused on doing that, which has been, a good change of pace for me. I have also in the month really been focusing on the tracking. So I also have a tracking streak, Candice.
Oh, yeah.
Not as good as yours, but it's mine.
That's right.
Mine.
There's no comparison.
That's right. I tracked every single day in the month of June. So I've got a 30-day tracking streak for June. And of course, a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
Thank you. And also just being really cognizant of my food choices. We talked, was it last week or the week before, like aspirationally, the aspirational me thinks she can have a bag of chips in it, and a family bag of chips is, multiple servings. And I'm aspirational me would say it's multiple servings, but realistic me is it's one serving on the couch at night in front of the TV. So, that's another thing too, is I have not been sitting in the evening to watch TV because if I do, I want food along with it. It's like those paired. Do you remember we talked a while ago about paired habits?
Yes.
And like that's a paired habit.
Like the piggyback, like one is
yeah. Like I got back into that routine, which just feels really frustrating to me. So I've needed to repair that habit for myself into when I'm watching the TV, I'm actually standing up and walking. So I'm still working on it. Y'all, I can't find what I've done this month in June. While somebody else is talking, I will look for it, but I know that I walked a lot in June. We're
going to give you credit. We're going to go ahead and say 100.
Yes.
Just to maybe does that seem low, or do you want to say 200?
No, that's over credit.
Oh, I was going to say we can go higher and we can celebrate it all. Because, I am all for it. Do you want 50?
I'll take it all. These are my logged miles through the week.
But you know what I love that you said, Erin, even with what you were talking about with piggybacking, like I just want to sit there for a second. Because that's something that when I'm thinking about another thing I'm proud of for the month of June, and just really, if I'm honest, from like April to June, because April through June for me has been like travel city. Like I have been, and some for work, some for pleasure, but it's been hard for me because I went back into some habits that I wasn't really proud of, mainly around, like I told you, sugar and eating out.
Yeah.
Partly because I was out of town, but also being out of town and having it started to trigger behaviors I wasn't proud of. Like I started to see how quickly you can kind of slide back into some habits that you're like, I thought I really had managed that. Like, why is that a thing? And what I'm proud of in June is the same kind of thing I'm proud of really in April and May. June is kind of where I really got into it though, where I had to stop and say, Candice, this is a problem for you. And having an honest conversation that, no, I'm not managing that as well as I would have projected and said I was earlier on. And sometimes we have to have those conversations. And that's the proud moment, is not hiding and pretending like I'm over something that I'm not. Like I'm somebody who's going to have to watch my sugar and watch things that are sugary for a long, and not just for health reasons, just because it spirals me.
Yes.
I can go down really quickly and be like, okay. And then I wake up and it's 4 crumble cookies. We always laugh about the crumble. I'm 4 crumble cookies later, and I don't know how I got there.
Right.
So I had a long talk with myself in Williamsburg, because I always feel like that's my time where I'm very deep in what is coming up for the year. You think it's like you think I'm like, what's the girl Jo from Little Women who's like writing a book? What's happening? Like, where am I going? But I was like, you're going to need to be honest about the fact that you are going to have to watch this, because it really is a deterrent for your journey long term to consistently give in at the level that you have. Vacation or not, I'm going to have to be aware. So I was proud that I had the conversation. It hurt because I've always wanted to believe that I was a person that didn't have to, because I could get it together. I'm not.
Yeah.
And
do you feel free being able to say that to yourself, or does it hurt still?
I think it's more a little of both. I feel sad that I'm not like some others who may be able to, because I want to be able to be like others who seem to be able to manage it and it not make them spiral.
You just said something really key right there.
It's
others who seem.
Yeah.
Because other people would probably look at you and go, oh, she seems to be able to do this and not have an issue, right?
Yeah.
We could just be seeing that outward projection in that moment and not knowing internally someone's going, I can't keep, why am I still doing this? But you know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what I think I've loved about Real WW Talk and our community is that I like the fact that we kind of are honest that perception is not always reality.
Right.
And for me, that's why I'm so proud of my honest tracking, because there's been days that would make your head spin. I'm talking 300-400 point days where you're like, how? But it's usually things that are high sugar, right? High carb, because those things are quick to add up. So it's not necessarily that I ate tons. It's just the things that I ate were extremely high point.
Yeah.
And it's because of the sugar. And so I'm not saying I'm never going to have it. I'm just saying that with that mindfulness, it has informed how I want to do the next 6 months of the year. And so now I'm like, no, I understand that I'm going to have to put some in the freezer, or I really am going to have to put this here. And that's okay. It's just,
yeah.
Great reflection. Because I think so many times we can get caught up in, this is something I want. This is something it's a treat, or it's, I'm on vacation. This is what I'm going to have. But I love that reflection, because you're acknowledging, yes, I had my vacation. Yes, I enjoyed things, but this overall pattern of, overindulging, or having, 300 point days, or having, more carbs than you were having when you were eating at home more, informs future decisions, and potentially future, decisions before vacations or decisions during vacations. But I think that reflection helps you to better understand what you want to do in the future.
And I think it's so true, Rikki, because I think it also was, I had to accept, I didn't like the way it was making my body feel. I didn't like the way I was inflamed. I felt like my stomach, all of it. It was like, I felt it. And I didn't like that feeling. And I said, I have a choice, right? Like I'm trying to remind myself, I have a choice. It's not like all is lost. I'm not being, because the old Candice really was kind of all or nothing, right? Oh, I can't believe you did that. So now throw it all away. I'm not there.
Yeah.
But where I am at is like, it's now time to make some tough decisions. And sometimes that's going to be saying no to yourself. Not today, maybe next week. Just like I do with Isaiah. No, we'll watch it later, or we'll do this. And later on, you feel better that you had that discipline. But right now I'm in that phase where I'm detoxing, and it's not, I don't love it.
Is that Bernie? Is that Bernie?
I don't love it.
It makes me think, our boy James Clear, Atomic Habits, talks about you're casting a vote for yourself of who you want to be in the future, and starting to look at yourself through that lens. With like, okay, well, I know what I'm voting for right here, and I know who I'm voting for.
And I'm thinking about, Erin, you're talking, because one of the things, and I was going to ask you, you said that you were July 1 was like a big day for you, because you have like doctor's things that are coming up that you were trying to like prepare for. And you took some time and you're like, okay, I got to get these things together. So I'm looking at my macros and doing things. Do you feel like that process has been, when you had the doctor's reason or the medical reason to really kind of dig deep and do your 5:30 a.m. walks, has that really geared you up or helped you in June?
It definitely geared me up in June. April, May, June definitely geared me up. But I will be honest, like there were moments where I completely forgot like why I'm doing this. You always talk, keep your why close by. I completely forgot why I was doing it. And then I went, oh crap, what am I doing? There's a whole reason here, ma'am. Get yourself together. And now you're 20 days away from my appointment with my doctor. So now I'm all the beauty treatments, all the walking treatments, all of the vegetables, flush everything,
Yeah.
But it's been a great motivating factor when I remembered it. And it's not like I've forgotten it for days and on end kind of a thing, but I've had those momentary blips of like, oh, wait a second, I'm not eating this because of this over here. Like, come on, man. And not having the food, or like I'll have something in my hand at the grocery store. I haven't eaten this in a while. Let's just get this for old time's sake to remember what it tastes like. Ma'am, there's a reason why you're trying to forget what this tastes like.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's so darn good. So darn good.
It's so good. I discovered, y'all, that they now make gluten-free Pop-Tarts. It's not by Pop-Tarts, so I should say it's probably a toaster pastry.
Right.
Toaster pastry.
Does it have frosting on it?
Yes, it's a brown sugar. It's so good. It's 11 points though for one, which would be expected, but I will tell you what, it hit a need that I had one day, you know. Scratched the itch. Okay. I found my June report.
Okay.
Here we go.
Now, these are my days so I had 17 days of logged walking. I did not log every one of my walks because sometimes I would walk in the evening and I didn't log it. But I had 17 days of logged walks, which was a total of 12 hours and 40.2 miles.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's really
Yay!
good.
Bravo me.
Good job.
Wonderful. And see, it didn't even take the step. It wasn't just the step bet that motivated you, you
Right.
know? And that's the thing. Because I was thinking about, Rikki, was it you who said it when you were talking about, maybe it was another step bet where you were like, I was close to being done. Like, I'm not going to be able to finish this, you know, but then you
Every
find
step bet. That's every
step bet, right? But you dig deep, right? And you see how we can surprise ourselves with how much we can pull through and think we can get those goals. Because when you see those totals, you're like, I really did all that?
Okay. Well, I guess I'm capable more than I thought, but sometimes I don't want to have these high expectations for myself. You know?
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to quote me on this, but I ended up finding myself in a situation where I was out later than I wanted to be. My friend invited me to a concert and I was like, sure, I'll tag along, you know, just hang outside at Meriwether and just watch a show. Well, my Apple Watch died. And this is there's only one more week in the step bet. And I was like, I've made it this far. And that is an accomplishment, especially being off. The amount of steps that I don't take when I'm off is just astronomical. I have to work for every step. So my friend was like, your watch will still pick up steps when it's dead. I don't know what happened, but I don't know if it was because I took my phone out. And as I was walking, I was kind of moving the phone as I was walking around the venue trying to get steps in, even though my watch was dead. But it did pick up a couple thousand steps after it died. So I don't know if it was the watch actually picking it up while it was dead, which I don't think is possible, or if it was the phone picking it up while the watch was dead. But I did get home by, I think, 10:30, charged the phone, took a shower, got out, got the rest of my steps, and I'm still in the step bet.
Yes!
Oh my word.
Bravo. Why am I having this image though of people at home who are trying to get their steps, like getting out their phone and they're like, okay, right.
While I was moving, I was still walking around. I wasn't shaking the phone.
For those who are on the podcast, I'm shaking my phone like they're trying to figure out how they can hit it. But no, that's always so exciting when you're like, I'm done. Like this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
And then you find a way to make, when there's a will, there's a way.
Don't give up.
And you know what? It started with you not laying down on the ground and asking your friend to drag you everywhere, right? Like
I had a thought because she was brave enough to go to the concessions. And I was almost like, hey, can you just put this on your wrist? Wow. Right. I did not want to weave through those people. But I did not ask her to do that. All the steps were my own, and I'm still in the game.
Look at that.
Well, I think that's what I always love about our Bravo episodes. I act like we've done tons of them, but even if this is just the second round iteration, I think it's important to, find some ways to celebrate the wins because not all, sometimes the win is just saying I'm struggling. Sometimes the win is saying I did how many miles again, Erin?
40.
Great. Sometimes it's saying I have a tracking streak, and sometimes it's saying I walked when my Fitbit and my Apple Watch just died, and
I thought everything was dead.
Right.
It didn't count.
It didn't count, but I pushed through. So,
on that note, Candice, let me read Mickey because she posted. I just want to celebrate some folks who are in our Real WW Talk community. She said June was weird, challenging. I lost 1.8 pounds for the entire month. The month wanted to be frustrating, but I kept reminding myself to focus on the things I control. Am I being consistent with food, water, tracking, sleep, and movement? Yes. Are there non-scale victories? Yes. Do I weigh less today than I did a month ago? Yes. I am making progress. And for the record, Mickey's down 17.6 pounds for the year.
Yes.
Way to go.
That's amazing. And sometimes we just need a perspective outside of ourselves to remind us of how impactful. I know she's, a little disappointed about 1.8, but like she said, down is down, and stepping back to look at the bigger picture, all the things that she reminded herself of, it can change that moment, that frustrating feeling into, actually, I accomplished stuff this month.
Yeah.
It may not have necessarily been what I wanted per se, but let me adjust my expectations because I'm still winning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think when you do that, the door is always open. You surprise yourself with what you can celebrate when you open and kind of change your perspective. Because I think we've always had these expectations that we don't know where we got them from about what success looks like.
Yes.
Be this much and this. And it's like, no, all of this is a win. Like you said, anytime the scale's going down, I'm happy.
That's yep.
Too.
Jason shared with us that he's lost 13.2 pounds in June. Jason is on a tear. Now, Jason is always posting in the group his sweaty selfies, and I think he's probably close, if he hasn't hit it yet, 100 pounds down.
So.
Right? Has he hit it? I couldn't
I don't know
tell.
if he hit it yet, but I think
he's amazing.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Jason is knocking it out of the park. And then I would consider this a bravo. This is from Becky, because, last week we talked about our travel hacks, as we're moving into summer season and all. She said, last week's episode was timely for me. I was flying to South Dakota today, and one of my favorite travel hacks is the frozen water bottle. And I'm just about to switch to my connecting flight and have refreshing ice water to drink now. It also doubles as an ice pack to keep snacks cool, but it must be frozen solid when going through security. So my bravo for that is she is thinking snacks. She's thinking about staying in control while she's traveling. That was an awesome hack to share with the group. So
I was so excited about that. I called David and was like, you don't understand. Freeze it. Eureka. Like, I love it. I love it. And I know Jason is close.
Is he, okay.
He's only 4.2 pounds away. I gotta admit, I was disappointed. I wanted to hit that magical 100-pound mark, but I'll just keep moving on. You got it.
Yes,
I love that.
Do it.
Okay, so July goals, obviously for Jason, is that 4.2 or whatever. Yep. Good for you, Jason. How about you guys? What are you thinking as goal for yourself for July?
Mine is the sugar, meaning I feel like I'm in a little bit of a detox phase. So I am just intentionally monitoring how much I'm consuming of extra sugary stuff and choosing me over that for a few days, a few weeks, and we'll see how it goes. So that's my goal, is just to continue being good to me and choosing really high quality nutrient foods for a while.
Yes. I love what you just said there too, being good to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Rikki?
So mine is a long-term goal that I have to break down into a short term. I told you guys, mentioned, Disney is coming up in January, and I'm already so excited. But I want to be able to be choosy about what I do there. I don't want to not participate in things because there's a weight limit, or I know Disney is very plus size friendly, but there's, also high blood pressure to look out for when you're doing some of the rides that might be, a little bit scary, or, you do have to consider that. And maybe I'm just being a worrywart, but that's one of those things that they kind of have to do as a disclaimer. Like, if you have high blood pressure, I don't know that it's that big of a deal as far as like making the decision if you have a controlled blood pressure, which I do. But my goal is I want to, by January, be comfortable with how I've spent the past 6 months as far as my weight loss journey,
I love
so that I can have as much fun as possible. So that breaks down to this month into, I think it comes down to honest tracking. And also my water has been terrible. I've noticed that I just feel like I'm dehydrated and I'm not, going to the bathroom as frequently as I should, even just, do throughout the day. So increasing my water intake is what I want to do this month. And also just honest tracking, staying within my points, which is something that I think I've gotten better at the past couple weeks, but I want to extend that and really just be intentional about that this month.
I love that.
I love it. Rikki, I've been struggling with my water as well. And I will tell you something that's actually worked for me has been those morning exercise walks. Because I found myself wanting to drink more water throughout the day because I got going first thing in the morning. And then as soon as I get on my walk, I've got my 32-ounce bottle and I don't drink the entire 32-ounce bottle, but I drink like more than half of it. So I'm already getting water and steps, first thing in the morning. So just putting that out there.
Great suggestion. Thank you.
Maybe you should get the Strava app too.
Maybe I should.
Or if we do is water, I'm focused on water too. So it can do a goal for real WW Talks.
I love it. July water.
What if we did that? What if we made July water month, hydration month?
Yes.
Listen, we have all these great ideas at the end, like the cruise that everyone's really excited about. I'm not going to keep saying it. And water challenge. Let's do it.
Yes,
okay.
Let's do it.
All right. Water challenge. Who's going to head up water challenge in the group, in our Facebook group and on Instagram?
Throw it out there.
Okay. Rikki.
Yeah.
Rikki, you were the queen of the water challenge.
Look for Rikki. Rikki and her Stanley mug. Is that a Stanley? Yes.
Is that a simple
Brewmate.
water? No. Who?
Brewmate. Sponsorship.
Yeah.
Should be.
It's not, but
I'm gonna go get my tin can.
Mine's always a sparkling something. I don't even know what this is.
Saratoga.
So it doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen. It can be sparkling. It can be still.
That's right.
It can be unsweet tea. I don't care. I know Weight Watchers has their statements about what counts. Whatever you want.
Right.
Get just chugging.
Yes.
It all counts.
I love it. For me, for July, now that our step bet is like over, I'm determined not to become a lump and not step my bet up here. So I love the motivation of the app. There's that Strava app and just kind of seeing everything, come to life. And so I've literally just had this thought that I'm going to increase my days of my tracked days. So I'm going to increase that. And then really I've got my appointment with my doctor at the end of this month. So that's really like, now I'm in the final gun into the finish line, to see her. So I'm throwing everything on the wall for that. Let me just say everything, I'm doing all the things. I'm going to do all the water, all the walking, all the tracking, all the right food eating, because if it's that thing when you go see your doctor, you're like, I've got to get my life right.
I don't know why my mind just went to like before you go to the dentist, you brush your teeth really well the night before.
That's it.
Like, okay.
3 days before.
Yeah. Dentist
you're like, I just started.
Job. That didn't get rid of all the plaque. But okay. Thank you. But no, you have plenty of time and you've been doing really well. So I know you're going to have a great appointment. Remind me of that in September when I have my breast MRI and I'm like, why didn't I keep getting it? Nope. That's why we're doing it now.
That's it. Oh, and I had a birthday this past week too. So I'm like, get myself in line.
Happiest birthday. Yes. I forgot. It's funny. It's been a few days, but that's right. It was your birthday.
I don't do. You guys are like birthday month people. And I'm like, if you mention it to me, fine. In this case, I was like, no, I probably need to mention that.
Yes. Birthdays are always exciting. So.
Yes.
And we're so happy for another year of Around the Sun for you.
I'm saying that as a precursor. If things start falling off of me, everybody will know why.
Just tell your doctor, look, I'm another year older. So, okay.
I just give me a break. Okay. It's the scary thing when you think you might actually be older than your doctor.
Oh, goodness.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. Well, that wraps it up for us this week, ladies. I wish you much success in us and our goals and our all the things that we're planning. Let's rock July. And hey, we would love to hear from you too. So tell us what your plans are for July. Share your June bravos, your celebrations with us. We want to hear about them so that we can celebrate them together as a group. You can find us on Facebook at just search Real WW Talk and you'll find our Facebook group. And same thing if you're on Instagram, just search Real WW Talk or YouTube and just drop us little notes on one of the videos, this video perchance, and let us know how you did in June and, what you're setting yourself up to do for July. July is going to be amazing. I feel it in my bones for all of us.
Yeah.
I agree. Cheers to the water.
Cheers. Yes. Cheers to our water challenge.
Yes.
Ching, ching.
Join.
Okay. Hey, if you are on the podcast, we have this new thing that our podcast provider has added for us, and that's texting. Fortunately, we cannot text you back, but we can see everything that you are sending in. So if you have a thought or a question, or you want to do your celebration there, just shoot us a text. That would be totally awesome. And then just want to drop a big thank you to all of our supporters of the podcast. We have so many people who have joined in with monthly subscriptions to the podcast. We heard from one person who said they ended up giving up their WW monthly subscription, but because they couldn't afford like the full thing, but they're like, hey, I can do $3 a month with you guys as, a little something. So we really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. We'll catch y'all next time. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.